everyone, and welcome back to the Gentle Dog Trainers channel. I'm your host Olivia De Santos, and I'm joined here by my dog Pip today. Today we're going to be talking about how to adopt a senior dog, why you should consider adopting a senior dog. But before we dive into the video, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel, not only because Pip is super cute, but because we make videos every single week to help you raise happy, healthy and well-behaved dogs. So if that sounds good to you, then click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. Now let's talk about senior dogs. So let's start with some definitions. What are senior dogs? What qualifies as a senior dog? And to be honest, it depends on the size of your dog. So the very rough guides that we all kind of know is that 1 human year is 7 dog years. But it's even more complicated than that because small dogs age much slower than large dogs. So small dogs become seniors much later in life than larger dogs do. We have a full article on the Gentle Dog Trainers website all about the life cycle of a dog, so do check that out in the links down below. But as a very, very rough guide,
small dogs are considered seniors when they reach 11 to 12 years old. Medium dogs are considered seniors around 10 years old. Large dogs are seniors at around 8 years old. And extra large dogs are considered seniors at around 7 years old. Now, this is a very, very rough guide. This is taken from the VCA hospitals, but we'll use this guideline for today.
Now that we know kind of what a senior dog is, and Pip is indeed a senior dog even though he doesn't act like one, let's talk about the myths of adopting a senior dog. The first major myth is that older dogs can't be trained. This is a complete lie. Old dogs can indeed learn new tricks. It might take some older dogs a little bit longer to learn certain tricks or certain new things. For example, if you are trying to change the name of an older dog that has had the same name for 10 years of their life, then that probably won't work, right? But you can teach dogs new tricks and new skills. You can stretch their minds with enrichment toys and enrichment activities. So don't hold back from adopting a senior dog because you think they can't be trained. They absolutely can be. Another common myth about older dogs in animal shelters is that they are dangerous. And this is a huge, huge myth. It completely depends on the life circumstances of that dog. More often than not, having been someone who has volunteered in an animal shelter before, more often than not, older dogs, much older dogs, tend to come to animal shelters because their owners have unfortunately passed away, or their family has moved away, moved countries, etc., and they can't take their older dog with them. So before you make any judgments on any older dog that you meet in an animal shelter, make sure that you actually learn their specific history, as more often than not, it's got nothing to do with them being dangerous or antisocial in any way. Another huge myth about older dogs is that they are not suitable for children. Again, this completely depends on their family history. Some older dogs have lived really long lives with children and actually grown up with children, and for that reason they're very well equipped to live a life with children. I think that we have this misconception that younger dogs do better with children, but that's not always the case. Sometimes older dogs have more emotional intelligence and they are therefore much gentler with children, so they are a bit more adept to handle, you know, the terrible twos and a baby pulling on their ears and poking their bum and things like that, whereas younger dogs actually need to learn those skills by living in a household with children. So depending on the life circumstances of that older dog, they might be the perfect choice to adopt for your family. And the final myth that I want to debunk is that older dogs are sick. Now, this can be true. You can have older dogs that have more physical impairments, and that is completely normal in the life cycle of a dog, but there's not always the case. And even if they are slightly sick, or even if they do have a diagnosis, they can act and behave in completely healthy ways, as in you wouldn't know that they were sick at all. And it's very important to remember that even if your dog does have some sort of diagnosis, it doesn't mean that they can't live a happy and healthy life, and comparatively quite long life as well. You can still give them the best life possible, and if you have the means to take care of an elderly dog that has some health conditions, then you would be doing a great service to that dog, and you would be inviting a beautiful light into your life as well. If you want to go into more depth about the pros and cons of adopting a senior dog, then I have written an entire article about this on the Gentle Dog Trainer's website. Do click that link in the description box down below. But now let's get into how to choose the right senior dog for you. First things first, check out my video on how to adopt a dog, because that will cover a lot of the basics of what I'm about to talk about. But I'm going to go into very specific things about adopting a senior dog, but that video will still be very helpful, so check that out in the iCard above me. First, you want to make sure that you know your dog's medical history. So if you are not equipped to handle a dog that has multiple medication needs, or is losing their sight, or has one leg, for example, then make sure that you understand what you are able to take on and what you're not, and the needs of that dog. So you might be perfectly equipped at home to help a dog that isn't very mobile, but you need to understand exactly what that entails. What supplementation will they need? Will they need separate food? Will they need physiotherapy, etc.? Do you have the means to support them in that? And if you do, great, that is fantastic, and I really hope that that dog can live a really happy and healthy life with you. So don't necessarily discount any dogs for their medical history, but just know what you are able to handle. The second thing to consider is their family history. So again, if you have children, if you have young children, then does this older dog have experience with young children? Likewise, does that dog have experience with other pets? You know, do they have a history of living with a cat that they absolutely adored? This can help figure out the best fit for your family life. Another thing to consider is the breed, and I don't put a lot of emphasis on breed because I think that the lifestyle of a dog can really shape them in a lot of ways. Their life history will probably shape their personality a little bit more than their breed will, but the reason that I think that it's important to know things about their breed is because of any potential health conditions that they might be susceptible to. So, for example, German Shepherds are very susceptible to hip dysplasia as they get older. Are you equipped to deal with that, or are there ways that you can prevent it if they're not already suffering from hip dysplasia? Are there any other diseases or ailments that your dog is more genetically predisposed to as they get older? The final criteria in choosing an older dog is to meet them. Really keep an open mind with the dogs that you meet, and get to know them as individual personalities, individual dogs, and see how they would fit into your life. All of the dogs that you meet at whatever age will have different activity needs, different health needs, different feeding needs. So get to know each individual dog and see the one that will best suit your lifestyle. Now let's talk about how to integrate a senior dog into your home. So I have done a video on how to prepare your home to bring home an adult dog, and do check out that video because it will be very, very helpful. But from a specific senior dog lens, here are the 3 things that I recommend. The first thing is to create a safe space for your dog to rest and stay away from the rest of the family. It's important that your dog, all dogs have this, they all have their solaces of their own, but as an older dog, they definitely want a bit more rest and relaxation than maybe puppies do. So do make sure that you create a little sanctuary for them. This could be inside or outside. One of our dogs really liked to have an outside kennel, and that was where he decided to retreat to whenever he just wanted to be on his own. Alternatively, one of our other dogs likes to stay inside and in the hallway and have a little cubby to himself. So create a safe space for your dog to retreat whenever they feel like. The next thing is to take great care when introducing your dog to other pets or other dogs. We have done videos on how to introduce a puppy to an older dog, so that will be linked in the iCards above and the description box down below. Check out those videos to help you with this process, but above all, the best thing to do is to choose a dog that has experience with other dogs, experience with puppies, experience with other pets that you might have, so that this transition can be as smooth as possible. The third thing that I recommend you do when you bring home your senior dog is to get them on a routine as soon as possible. Whatever your routine is going to be for exercise and feeding, make sure you establish that routine very early on. And my final tip when adopting a senior dog is to remember that they are still a dog that loves life, loves to play, loves great food and loves adventure, loves treats, and loves a good sleep too. A senior dog is no different to any other dog. They just have more life experience, and they are just as joyful and wonderful as they were when they were younger. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions about living with a senior dog or adopting a senior dog, then do leave them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I've been Olivia DeSantos for the Gentle Dog Trainers channel. If you've loved this video, you'll like this one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.